Welcome to Apex Racing TV, welcome to iRacing Live, and welcome to the World Centre of Racing for the 10th week of the IMSA Sportscar Series. The Daytona International Speedway, the road course today, 5.73 kilometres, 11 corners, and the three classes as always, the Daytona prototypes, the German GT3s, and the Porsche 911s. Joining me for this 45-minute race today, alongside Sam Coomer on the cameras, it's Andrew Woodhouse. And Andrew, we're fresh from our BSRRC exploits during the last few days. Now it's time to see the sports cars tackle one of the toughest tracks on the schedule.
It's a different kind of tarmac this to what we were tackling in the Rally Monte Carlo, isn't it? Hello Adam, good evening everybody. IMSA Sportscar Championship, this is week 10 of the season. We're going to run you through the championship standings as well before this round at Daytona Road. Simon Grossman leads the way with 1,652 points in the Daytona prototypes. Derek Reinhardt in second, Joseph Burton-Harris in third, Dragan Nikic fourth, and Marco Anciadiacono in fifth. In the German GT3s, you've got Massimo Carbagnani with 1,697, then Luigi Nespolino, then Marco Gabriele Nessi, Mika Lurki in fourth, and Roque Garcia is fifth. Don't think we've seen Garcia in the top split actually, so that might be something that he's obviously working towards. And then in the Porsche 911, Michele Ricci leading the way by nearly 200 points over Marcel Fassbender, Manuel Sanchez in third, Matthias Schoger in fourth, and Ray Galloway in fifth. It's very close there indeed with Fernando Garcia Perez and Kevin Bujalasa.
Right, and yeah, that just the Daytona Prototype Championship, or is that all three of them?
That was all of them.
That was all of them. Thank you very much then. Yeah, we've got it all covered. That's the qualifying session underway at the moment. Running through the grid for that in a moment. But yeah, Marco Anciadiacono currently on provisional pole. Pretty close around here. And we saw with Marco the last few weeks, Andrew, he seems to be bad in qualifying and then good in the race. This time he seems to be pretty good in qualifying here. So hopefully he might be able to translate this into a good race.
Yeah, fantastic qualifying so far from Marco Anciadiacono. He's really taken the ball by the horns around this track. But we've seen many times, haven't we, in iRacing in the past, that it's really just gelling with a certain track, isn't it? And obviously the Italian driver has done just that. Just saying as well, I've just noticed one of the drivers in the German GT3s, Felipe Paiva, he says he just loaded into the session about 45 seconds ago, so it's taken a long time to get in, but he's in now, and so hopefully he'll be able to hopefully he'll be effective.
That was me a few months ago, Felipe.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Tell you what, though, what a great venue we've got, Adam. It's challenging, this track. It maybe doesn't look like it on paper, but it's really very good, isn't it?
Yeah, Daytona International Speedway, the road courses, I really enjoy racing on it, to be fair. And yeah, we've seen plenty of good races here in the many different series that we have here on Apex Racing TV. The Rick Mattek Sportscar Series had a fantastic one to kick off the season a few weeks ago. Hopefully we get the same here, a half-pace lap before we get things underway. And Andrew, would you be able to take us through the 32-car grid?
Indeed, Marco Anciadiacono, as mentioned, on pole position by 1.5 tenths of a second over Joseph Burton-Harris. Third is Derek Reinhardt with Colin Klopman in fourth. Danilo Piazza is fifth. Sam Fitzpatrick in sixth. Joseph Novak in seventh. Arkadiusz Neumann in eighth. And it's onto the German GT3s. Carsten Huth on pole there in ninth position overall, with Robin Esserson just behind him. Elliot Biddle in 11th. Adailo Vieira in 12th. Luigi Nespolino in 13th. Nestoras Kirsoglu in 14th. 15th Fabrice Cornelis, Mark Torres in 16th, Chris Fuller in 17th, 18th Michael Arian, Chris McGrath in 19th, Rafael Bonifacio in 20th, and then on to the Porsche 911s, and it's Sindre Setsas in 21st overall, pole position there, and Omar Soto Jr. is in second place, and it's the German GT3 of Mikhail Matuzek. Then it's Marcel Fassbender, the third 911 on the road, Matthias Schoger in fourth, Johnny Brandon fifth, Michele Ricci in sixth, Johannes Schafranca in seventh, eighth Jason Marichal, and then it's the aforementioned Felipe Paiva, and then it's Mark Warmington, who's not managed to set a time, the Blue Flag Racing driver, and then it's Miguel Vigo.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the grid for the day. 45-minute race with a mandatory pit stop as the Porsche safety car leads them away from the back straight, then into the bus stop chicane, which is probably going to be a real area to watch out for. It's going to be an area A to watch out for in terms of overtaking, Andrew, and also because it's a pretty easy part of the circuit to make a mistake on and lose a lot of time.
Yeah, massively, and it's very, very warm out there as well, so may increase the likelihood of a mistake later on in the race. I wouldn't really be doing much weaving to warm those tyres up if I were the drivers out there at the moment. It's 27 degrees air temperature, but as in Florida, the sun baking down onto the circuit. 43 degrees Celsius is the temperature of the asphalt tonight.
Quite hot compared to the temperatures we've been seeing in the BSR series that we were doing on Thursday night. Here they come then, out of NASCAR turn 4, and then it's the run to the line, and then we will get this 45-minute race underway. Marco Diacono and Joseph Burton Harris, the two cars at the front of the grid. Watch out for Dirk Reinhardt and Cohen Klopman. They've been pretty quick recently. And there goes the safety car. Here we go. And the green flag is in the air, and round 10 of the IMSA Sportscar Series is underway. Good start by Joseph Burton Harris. Almost got the jump on Marco Diacono before we got into the first corner, but it should be the Italian that takes the lead. But Burton Harris very late on the brakes, taking the Alex Simpson line there into the first corner, and the top two are still going to go at it for the lead through the opening few corners. And Joseph Burton Harris just cuts in front and has the lead as we go into the first hairpin.
Yeah, all well behaved with the Daytona prototypes then through the first couple of corners. German GT3s are in the infield now as well.
Good start by...
And the 911s as well, very, very close behind.
There they are indeed.
So
yeah,
there's not the usual gap that we seem to have been getting.
No, not really at all. I don't know whether they weren't paying, whether it was just the speed of the Porsches or whether they weren't paying attention. But yeah, Sindre Sass leading the way in the Porsches, and Kia Soglu leading. Luigi
Nespolino has dropped down the order quite substantially, Adam. He's in with the Porsches, and there's a Mercedes around in the infield, and he got hit by one of the Porsches. I believe that was I'm sure that was actually
Elliot Biddle in the
was it Biddle, was it?
The Mercedes that got hit anyway. I don't know which Porsche hit him, but yeah, that's what happened at the second of the hairpins in the German GT3s and the Porsches. Now the Daytona prototypes going through the bus stop chicane for the first time, and now we're going to see the slipstream in full effect here as we go through NASCAR turn 3 and turn 4. Marco Diacono wasting no time at all here, ducking to the outside as we go off of the final corner and on our way towards the tri-oval to complete the opening lap of the race. And Marco Diacono going to take the lead back.
He worked hard for the pole position, did Diacono, and yeah, he's not willing to relinquish that lead lightly. He wants it back. And apparently there was a bit of a mess in turn 1 as well. I'm not quite sure who was involved there, but cars dropping by the wayside early on in this race, and Reinhardt went through and then was sideways, a bit out of control. Actually, Kono now is getting shuffled back into the middle of the pack, and he's also getting bumped around by, I think it's Joseph Novak.
I think the reason why the Porsches were so close was because there was a whole lot of German GT3s all over the place.
Novak
Diacono all over the place.
going through, and also Cohen Klopman going through as well. So it's becoming disaster for Diacono already.
Only 2 laps in, or 1.5 laps in. Marco Diacono could find himself outside the top 5 if Cohen Klopman can get that move done around the outside. Problem for Chris McGrath, he was doing okay, but he's now in the pit lane, and looks like he's had a big one. Just going into the second hairpin. Oh, put 2 wheels on the grass and into the Armco barrier, and a blown engine as well. That is him done.
Just an update on Elliot Biddle, who's the car who spun around earlier on. He's still going. He was lucky he didn't go over actually on his roof. But Biddle is still going, just working his way through some of the 911s. Also got a battle with nice camera angles, dear me. You've got Marcel Fassbender, and he's just behind Chris Fuller, who's actually in front of one of the Mercedes. It's actually side by side with one of the Mercedes. That's the number 24 of... Oh no, that's Chris Fuller, sorry. Dear me. Apologies. Who's the white Porsche? It's Johnny Brandon.
Dirk Reinhardt. Dirk Reinhardt's around at the first corner. The Daytona prototype, who was in second position at the line, has got a bit of damage to the front of the car as well. Just seeing what happens. Oh, he's done a Janowski proper there.
Dear Julian Janowski. That was an infamous start that time in the finale of the 2015 British Sim Racing Touring Car Championship, and it's happened to Dirk Reinhardt this time. Apparently there was something that went on between Michele Ricci and Johannes Schafranca at the start as well. I didn't see exactly what went down there, but Ricci, I believe, is out of the race. Schafranca carries on, but it's not the first time we've seen Schafranca involved in some incidents in this series.
I was just trying to see if I could find what transpired between those two, but yeah, problem for those two. Michele Ricci, yeah, 1 lap down already, and is still in the pits, been in the pits for 2.5 minutes now. We might see him back out on the track later on. So then, you stay at play at the moment then. Joseph Burton Harris leads Stan Fitzpatrick, who's now gained 4 positions and finds himself in second. Third is Josip Novak, but he's got Marco Diacono bearing down on him again. And this could be an overtake for 3rd position if Marco Diacono can get a good run through the final 2 corners. Of course, started on the pole position here, and then behind him Cohen Klopman, Danilo Piazza and Arcadeus Newman, and then Dirk Reinhardt, the last of the Daytona prototypes in 8.
Been a good lap for our pole sitter, hasn't it? Even though he dropped down to 5th on the previous time round, he's the demise of Dirk Reinhardt giving him a position, and then he's trying to get back on Josip Novak. Novak going sideways. It's a good battle, this. It's a close one in the Daytona prototype, isn't it? You see there's about 6 cars in the line. That's what you want even in the early going of the race.
Yeah, Klopman right with these guys now, and has got a much tighter line on the exit of the first of the hairpins there, and almost allowed himself up the inside of Marco Diacono, who's lost a little bit of ground to...
Oh, and he's been hit. Klopman,
that's a disaster.
Diacono locking up massively, and Cohen Klopman into the back of him. And it didn't look like there was a lot that the number 1 car could do about that. We'll see that again on the replay, I'm sure. Into the hairpin. Oh, actually, kind of braked early, locked up. All 4, it might have been the fronts and the rears that he locked. And Klopman, well, there's nothing he could do but run into the back of it.
Nowhere to go for him at all there, was it? Just looking to see if he did.
It was a strange incident, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he locked all four tyres up there. Marco Diacono in his pursuits to get by Novak.
Oh!
No way through at all.
Well, that's Burton Harris going very wide. We mentioned pretty much every week how his driving style is very exuberant, and that was some exuberance right there.
Oh dear, what's gone on here? This is the lead in the Porsches. It's all... in fact, no, it's 3rd position in the Porsches. It's all gone a bit pear-shaped. Johnny Brandon. And what's happened to him?
And Soto possibly was involved. Let's have a look. Brandon... Oh, Brandon just loses it. Comes through the kink. Loses the car, but then oh no, he doesn't lose the car. He gets hit by number 3, Marcel Fassbender, and then off goes number 20, Jason Marichal, in all the excitement. So
very unusual one, and yeah.
That is another very strange. And then up the inside goes the Mercedes. So yeah, there's all sorts going on out there.
Marco Diacono dropping down the order again. He's very slow now, going along the apron of... Well, he was going along the apron, he's now into the pit lane.
Pit lane, and no fast repairs out there. You know what, he's going to be getting... He might be getting relatively close to that incident limit already. He's been off a couple of times.
Of course, it is very early for a pit stop. We're less than 10 minutes into the 45-minute race here, so...
I mean, you'd be able to get to the end from here, surely, would you?
No, it'd be pretty close, I think.
Fuel limit's 50%, yeah, it's going to be difficult.
Marcel Fassbender also in. Let's check in on the German GT3 zone for the first time today. Nestoras Kirsoglu leads the way. Brake pedal is broken. And that's what caused all 4 tyres to lock up then for Marco Diacono.
No wonder he just tapped. It looked like he was just preparing to brake or just getting his foot on the brake lightly, and yeah, it looked like he had full brakes almost.
Reece Cornelissen's second in the German GT3s. Rafael Bonifacio in 3rd. 4th is Felipe Paiva. Make that Paiva ahead of Bonifacio. Cohen Klopman also win.
I tell you what, he took a long time to get into the session, did Felipe Paiva, but he's really making the most of it now. He's right behind Bonifacio, as you can see there, and then behind him is the Audi of Michael Erian. So Audi making an appearance. There's a lot of Mercedes out there tonight, isn't there?
Or because of the straight line speed, I'd probably say. Cohen Klopman into the pits as well, so...
Audi very good there as well.
That might be a meatball flag.
We've seen Cohen Klopman in a lot of different cars, haven't we, already? I think he's been in all 3 classes, has he not, in the last 2 years? I know he was definitely in the rough when that was around.
Yeah, I know he was in the rough. And yeah, now in the Daytona prototype. So it's like Shafranko, he was in the German GT3, he's now driving around in the Porsche category.
Yep, and it's good to see some of these. Dirk Reinhardt's still going incidentally, by the way, but severe damage to all the left-hand side of his car. The rear and the front corner is completely tattered and torn out there, so it's going to be difficult for him. The German driver, it's going to be a tough one from here.
Joseph Novak has got up into second on this lap. He was in third when we crossed the line, but he's now ahead of Sam Fitzpatrick, who's got Danilo Piazza for company as they head through the bus stop chicane.
It's funny because we only started with 8 Daytona prototypes out there, but we're already down to possibly 5.
Yeah, if you
I mean, Reinhardt is
yeah.
going, but he's not. You know, it's as we said last night. He's got the Superleggera version on his his car with a lot of bits missing. So I don't think it's particularly super at the moment. This is a great battle going into the first corner. And look at this around the outside. Who's that?
Anyway, Piazza. He might be able to pull up a wonder move there, but just not able to get it done on.
Can get one
on Novak. He's going to get one done. And,
that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice anyway, isn't it? Even if he didn't get the second one, that was very good. Though Piazza having issues, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago at I want to say Imola, but I can't even remember where we were a couple of weeks ago. But I know he had a messy old race, and yeah, but looking good here.
Cohen Klopman done for the day. He's exited the session, so I won't be seeing him again.
Good for him. And that puts Nestoras Kirsoglu up into 7th place.
Oh yeah, we've got German GT3s ahead of. In 3 of them inside the top 10. Cornelis in second, who's not too far away. Then we've still got that battle between the 2 Brazilians, Paiva and Bonifacio.
I will say though, Reinhardt, we mentioned that about him not being very super at the minute with the car, but he's only 1 second a lap slower than the leader. So, you know, if he stays at that pace, anything can happen. He's not obviously going to do a great deal, but you know, he might be able to salvage some points. And it's very close, so this is one of the closest battles we've had in Daytona prototypes, at least, isn't it?
It'll be very difficult, I think, for him, as for Sam Fitzpatrick and Danilo Piazza close once again, is Dirk Reinhardt, I don't think will have any help in terms of the slipstream compared to these guys, here comes Piazza again.
And look at this lot as well. You've got the Mercedes of Chris Fuller, this is 15th overall. You've got Michael Matuse. Then you've got the Porsche of Shoga, who's leading the way, Matthias Shoga. You've got another Mercedes coming through. Behind him you've got the 2nd place man, Sindre Setsas. So very, very competitive in that midfield area.
I know, and these 2 classes are fighting for position. This isn't a case of one class lapping the other one. The Porsche's definitely on the pace here, and yeah, the top 3 in the Porsche, Shoga, Setsas and Soto Jr. Really mixing it with the German GT3s here, because Carsten Hoof and Luigi Espolino, they're currently sitting behind those 3 as they go into the bus stop chicane.
I have juicy gossip. I have juicy controversy. Apparently Michele Ricci has told Johannes Shafranko it's not over. So pay attention next time, he says. Well, that's going to be an interesting one. He's going to have it out with David Coulthard. I tell you honestly, that's what it's going to be like. Possibly next time.
Tell you what, the Superleggera version of the car might quickly become the RS model.
Oh well, if they've got anything to do with it next time, yeah. Oh dear.
Around the outside goes.
Maybe Shafranko should have stayed in German GT3s.
Joker and Setsas are now duking it out over the lead of the Porsches whilst they continue their chase of the German GT3s.
A great battle, actually, isn't it?
Their car's looking relatively clean. Well, I'll say Shoga's does, but Setsas having a little bit of wear and tear after the opening exchanges.
Setsas really looks good at the moment. He's throwing the car around with some abandon, but he's not abandoning his pursuit of Matthias Shoga, and he looks quick out there, I must say. And he looks like he's got a slightly tiny bit more oversteery setup than what Shoga's got, and that's just allowing him to get a bit more rotation through the slow stuff. Yoga seems quite good through the faster corners, so this is an interesting battle that we've got on here. And he's got a good exit now.
Through NASCAR turn 1 and 2. See what if you can get anything done before we get to the bus stop chicane. This is over, of course, first and second in class. It's 18th and 19th overall. And here Porsche's inside the top 20 is not something you see often, as here he comes on the inside, sets sass into the bus stop chicane.
Oh, that's very good. Move. That's great. And he just managed to nip in front of him, didn't he? And yeah, very good. Very nicely done. I didn't think he'd actually get completely clear, did you?
No, I definitely didn't think so there.
That was great though, excellent work. And you can see that as well, the copious amounts of heat haze coming off this circuit here in Daytona International Speedway. And now Shoga, it might be his chance to come back through the tri-oval here. Of course, oval racing massively in focus in the month of May, and we've got part of that here. The yellow portion in the background, that's Soto taking the Alex Simpson line as he lets Luigi Nespolino through. That was actually a battle for position. So Nespolino, who is high up in the championship at the moment, he is in second place at the moment, Nespolino. He's having a bit of a shocking race at the moment, Adam.
Yeah. I think something transpired at the beginning of the race, didn't he? He's now having to work his way back through the field as a result. Tell you what, the Porsches aren't giving it to him, of course, because he's off the positions, but and I don't know where Shoga's going.
He's going completely. Yeah. You get the old GPS out on that one, I think.
Tell you what, I've just seen the helmet on Sindre Setsas, and that has made me chuckle just a little bit.
Have a little look.
Looking very happy in his.
Let's have a look at this. What's the best camera angle for it?
I don't know, I just saw it in the TV.
The one from inside the car?
Let's see, have a look. Can we get... Rear chase will be good for you if you want to have a quick glimpse of that, but...
Have a look. Yeah, go on. Oh, I've broken the cameras, right.
You won't be happy for too much longer. Yeah, Nespolino through, and yeah, that's him up in the position now.
Yeah, I've noticed the Porsche though seems pretty good in a straight line compared with the German GT3s. It doesn't look like to be losing. Look, it's not losing anything to the Mercedes. In fact, it's gaining.
See what he can do actually here, Sindre Setsas.
Yeah, here he comes. Go.
He's a good 10 or so kilometres an hour quicker.
That Mercedes is a fast car. Straight line. It's got a bit more braking efficiency than Porsche though. And a little bit more acceleration, but the Porsche definitely in the oval section looking very, very good indeed.
Battle for second place overall heating up again. This is Danilo Piazza versus Joseph Novak going into turn 2. Novak just holding on, but spinning the tyres on the exit, and you can see who else has joined the party: Fitzpatrick and Newman.
I've just seen the helmet. Yes, it's very good. A bit Nightmare Before Christmas, isn't it?
Wouldn't want that in the mirrors.
Oh, not really, no. At least he looks happy. At least he looks happy. Let's be honest. Yeah, Piazza leading Novak. Sorry, Novak ahead of Piazza now. Then Fitzpatrick, and then Arkadiusz Neumann. So.
Oh dear, I've just seen something. Miguel Vigo is he's also going to be saying it isn't over to Elliott Biddle.
Oh no.
Who's unfortunately, he looks like he might have had a hardware failure of his own.
What Biddle has?
Yeah, because very bizarre. So you've missed the braking point by a country mile going into the final corner on the infield.
Good.
Vigo's managed to carry on, fortunately. He's now in 12th position, though, in the German GT3s. Elliott Biddle has also carried on. I think he's in 10th. In fact, he's benefited a lot more from he's come out the better actually compared to Elliott Biddle.
That's a very interesting one, shall I say? Not going to say a great deal more than that, but that did not look particularly good. So yeah, I'd be shocked that something doesn't come of that at some other time.
Back to the Daytona.
Because is Biddle braking okay for everything else? He is. just saying. I mean, I'm not judging, but it looks a bit suspect to me.
Well then, plenty of accidents and incidents in the opening 20 minutes here at Daytona International Speedway. We're now getting into the latter part of the traffic as Joseph Novak finally gets his way past the Mercedes there of Carsten Hoof. Oh, Fitzpatrick nearly getting involved with that Mercedes there as he goes around the outside of the German GT3 car through the second of the horseshoes. Behind him, Arcadeus Newman just getting through there as well.
This is where the impatience starts, isn't it?
Definitely.
Where sort of you've got to pick your lines and you've got to be very considered going through the traffic. Piazza now will be in the slipstream and he's got a reasonable run, but Novak getting the aid of the slipstream off the Mercedes. Around the outside he goes. Piazza. Full stop chicane just behind Novak.
Now they've got Shoga and Soto and Sindre Setsas. So these are the leaders of the Porsches. Shows you how quickly these Daytona prototypes are getting to them.
We know the Porsche is quick as well.
Yeah, other tracks that we've been to recently, it's taken a fair while for these quicker classes to get to them. Here comes Piazza.
Now, yeah.
Rewind briefly. Who's going to have the position at the line? I think it's just going to be Joseph Novak there. These guys are 4 seconds behind Joseph Burton Harris as they go into the first corner. Alex Simpson line there by Piazza, but it doesn't work.
Very wide line. Fitzpatrick's back in the game now after that.
Shows you how much time you can lose if you don't get that first corner right.
Well, these are all very evenly matched. Arcadius Neumann is being absolutely destroyed by the traffic at the moment. Simply isn't getting through in that GTL car. So he's gone from being like half a second behind this group to being 2 or 3 seconds behind, and that might be very crucial for him.
Dirk Reinhardt comes into the Dirk Reinhardt comes into the pits to serve his pit stop. Makes sense, really. We are 2 minutes away from the halfway mark here at Daytona International Speedway.
I'll say that Dirk Reinhardt is still going out there, ladies and gentlemen, and in 6th place actually, so comfortably ahead of all the German GT3s. So yeah, I didn't think we'd get this much controversy actually in this this race meeting, did you?
Boston, you get it in an official race? By no means, no. Here comes Joseph Novak to really make... That's not going to go well, and someone had to bail out of this, and it was Luigi Nespolino, who's already having a bit of a torrid day of things.
That was about the last thing that Nespolino needed, wasn't it?
Just had to cut the bus stop chicane. That'll be a slowdown penalty as well. It looks like he's managed to serve most of it by coasting there, but that dropped him down any positions. He's now in Nespolino. He's in 10th position overall, in 10th position in class, and looks like he might be making a pit stop. So yeah, get it out of the way now.
Now coming up to the Mercedes of Adeildo Vieira, and Vieira's in 8th position. 8th position in his category. That's 14th overall. Oh no! Contact! More contact!
Oh,
nudgy and round! Oh dear! And there goes Fitzpatrick onto the grass. Yeah, that was a very poor incident there. That was really. That wasn't good, was it?
Well, I was just looking at the battle for the lead in the Porsches, but yeah, Joseph Novak up the inside of Vieira. Vieira's like, what on earth are you doing, mate? And
that was baffling, wasn't it? On both accounts, really. I think both of them are probably to blame for that. And
then Newman, he somehow emerges out of nowhere as well. He
now Matusek in the Audi just thinks, oh, I can have a bit of this, and he's right behind Vieira.
Well, Arcadeus Newman got at the inside of Elliot Biddle. Well, that's what happened to Newman, and Biddle ends up getting disqualified. So that was
no.
Elliot Biddle done for the day.
End of Biddle. Dirk Reinhardt's come out of the pit, still in 6th position, I think. So that's worked out okay for him. Lost anything. Now Neumann is going through on Novak. Yeah, Novak really did lose out, didn't he? Quite a lot in that one. And Vieira's trying to come back on. This could be messy because Vieira's trying to come back on. Oh, what's happening here? No, there's going to be something going on. Oh no, I knew. Oh dear. Well, that's not what we want to see out there, ladies and gentlemen. Novak, that's some revenge, isn't it? I think.
Well, yeah.
It's handbags more than revenge, I think.
Pull he's out of a pram, maybe.
The only thing he's done is managed to damage his car, so it wasn't very clever.
Well, they both managed to carry on, and they're now going into the hairpin now, and I don't think Vieira's going to be able to do much unless he waits for him to come back round again, which would just damage his own.
That's not good at all. It really isn't. We've got a battle going on though with the Porsche, and it's for the lead.
Yes, Soto
Omar Soto
and
Soto is
Shoga.
looking to take it.
Shoga takes the lead then. Soto down to second, but here comes Setsas to try and get it done around the outside into the second of the hairpins. I have to say, the top two in the Porsche is probably some of the cleanest cars we've got left on the track after what we've seen so far.
Yeah, this looks like a good race, doesn't it? I think shaping up here. Soto, Setsas, and Shoga.
Well, that being said,
and it was the other way around actually after the previous lap.
Nestoras Kiyosaki is out of fuel, our German GT3 leader. He's coasting through turn 4. He's relinquished the lead to Fabrice Cornelis, and he's just got to have enough fumes in the tank to get it into the pit lane.
And who's that coming in there as well? That is
Ivor.
So they were at 8 seconds. 8 seconds there is what he's lost. Kiyosaki, he tries to. Oh dear me! I thought he was going to try and squeeze him in the pit lane. Everything's going on here. Everything.
Well, there we go. The pit stop starting to begin in both classes. Sam Fitzpatrick and Danilo Piazza have both come in, along with Arcadeus Newman, Kiyosoglu, Arian, Piver, Fuller, and Adildo Vieira. All coming in.
Dear me, I tell you what, some of this racing is, in all my seasons of covering the IMSA Sportscar Championship, I've not seen anything like this one, I must admit.
I don't think we have to use the Murray Walker line yet of "this is terrible," but
oh!
What's happened?
Danilo Piazza lost it coming out of the pits.
Oh dear. Well, he hasn't hit anything, thank goodness, but he's been on the grass.
I don't think so. He went into the...
he scraped the wall a little bit, but it hasn't left him any marks on the car.
Oh, he just hit the outside wall, and you know what? Fitzpatrick was very, very lucky. He didn't just pile into him there.
But it would have been shades of Canaduro weight if that happened. Right, we're waiting for Joseph.
No red light this time.
No red light. Imagine that. Joseph Burton Harris. That's one thing we don't need. Nestoras Kiyosoglu. What's happened to Kiyosoglu? He's dropping down the order yet again, and he stops.
He's off. Yeah. So maybe he didn't put any in, did he?
Oh, please don't tell me. Oh, it genuinely looks like he hasn't put any fuel in.
Well, he was getting up to over 200 kilometers an hour, so it looked like he had enough left.
Maybe he put a bit in. I don't know. Very odd, but yeah, it's all going on here. Joseph, it looks like he's got going again. Maybe he had an issue with the pedals, but yeah, Joseph Burton Harris comes in from the lead. Joseph Novak's coming from second as well. So we'll see if Sam Fitzpatrick and Danilo Piazza are able to leapfrog him when he makes his pit stop. Also,
I'm almost certain they will.
Also in Fabrice Cornelis and Mark Torres.
Just keeps giving this race, doesn't it? Because there's more and more. There's just more and more things happening every time, and not going to be a great deal of them left by the end.
Well, the amazing thing is that briefly...
Oh, Fitzpatrick.
Matthias Shoga is leading the best of the rest, really. He's ahead of the leader of the German GT3s at the moment. Obviously, Shoga's yet to make his pit stop, as Fitzpatrick goes up the inside of him.
Oh no, what's he doing? Oh dear. Piazza, what is he doing? Just really dive bombing there, and I hate that word, but he really did dive bomb Omar Soto there.
Yeah, it's a phrase that gets passed around a bit in sim racing, as he's lurking to try and get by the Mercedes of Piver here.
It gets passed around too much, because to me, it's used when legitimate overtakes are being done. As Novak just hit the Mercedes, I think he might have done, but it seems like Novak's driving with a bit of a rage in that car at the moment. But yeah, he gets passed around too much as that word, but that was really a dive. He flew into that hairpin. Well, and Soto, who was leading his category, had to fly out of the way.
The mechanics have done a very good job of repairing the front end of Joseph Novak's car, because it definitely looks pretty worse for wear after the the so-called handbags with Vieira earlier on, who's now down in 17th, by the way, in the German GT3s, which is 8th in class. Novak is now 15 seconds off the lead and 4 seconds off Danilo Piazza. So after being in second position, now finds himself in 4th.
Luckily for him, I don't think he's going to encounter Vieira again. He shouldn't do, at least at this point. Thing is, there's only 6 seconds between the lap times of the German GT3s. In fact, the Porsches faster in some parts of this race, isn't it? Definitely.
Speaking of the Porsches, into the pits come our 2 leaders, Matthias Schoger and Omar Soto Jr., both at the same time. So who's going to have the quicker pit stop? We do see in both the IMSA Sportscar Series and the Rikmatech that drivers do like to take liberties with the fuel.
And by the way, Felipe Paiva leading now the German GT3s.
There we go. After turning up to the session with no qualifying.
He started, it says 30th, I don't think he started 30th, but he did start, I think it was 21st or something like that, and he's up to, 20th, and he's up to 7th now. That's very good.
Leading the class, yeah, it does say it's gained 15 positions, on my time screen anyway, but Mark Torres and Michael Erian are having a battle now. Looks like it might have been a mistake for the Audi, because Arian threw into 5th position now, and Torres, I should say. Torres threw into 4th, and Arian down to 5th.
Yeah, it's all kicking off, isn't it? It's all kicking off out there. I just want to take a minute to just say massive well done to Ashley Sutton, who took a win today in the British Touring Car Championship. So well done. That's the first one for Subaru in 2017. So
yeah, it's been a bit of a trouble season for them, hasn't it? So he'll be very happy with that.
He's on fire, that boy, this season.
Race 3 going on at the race 3 finished actually in the British Touring Car Championship.
And we do apologise if I spoiled that for anybody, but it is a great thing for us, especially covering the BSRTC, where Ashley Sutton is he runs a part-time schedule in that, and it's great for sim racing that someone of Sutton's calibre is so involved with our sport as well as his own. So fantastic.
Yeah, he was running on Thursday. If it wasn't due to if there wasn't so many cars in the race, then we would have been at Alton Park as Johannes Schafranca comes into the pits from the lead in the Porsches. We're racing at Laguna Seca on a Thursday. Good evening's racing there as Schafranca gets his pit stop out the way. 9.2 seconds stop, quick stop from him, and Johnny Brandon also.
Yeah, Brandon almost replacing Schafranca in the pit lane. And it's been nice, easy work for Joseph Burton Harris so far, hasn't it? 9.3 seconds is his lead. Gives me ahead of the equally talented Sam Fitzpatrick, who he's really had to have a battle for this second place, hasn't he? He's going off! He's off and onto the grass. And just as I said it, Sam Fitzpatrick, he might lose out to Danilo Piazza here. In fact, he's going to, surely. Unbelievable.
Very bizarre that. It looked like he got the line sorted on entry into the bus stop chicane.
He might be able to fight back here.
He had to correct it, didn't he? Here he comes. He might get second place back here as we go over the line to start lap 20 of the race. 12 minutes to go here. This race absolutely flown by as up the inside goes Piazza, trying his best to hold on to his newfound second position.
Very wide there for Fitzpatrick, and it was too wide because he just could not get the exit that he wanted. And he's got to do it all again. Some really scrappy driving going on out on the circuit today.
We're running through the order now that most of the pit stops have finished. Joseph Burton Harris leads Danilo Piazza by 11 seconds now. Then it's this battle between him and Sam Fitzpatrick in third. Joseph Novak in fourth, surviving really. Arcadeus Newman in fifth.
That's close, that one as well. Sorry to but they're almost nose to tail now as well.
In the German GT3s, Felipe Paiva leads Fabrice Cornelis by 1.5 seconds, and it's Rafael Bonifacio in third, with Mark Torres in fourth and Michael Erian in fifth. And then in the Porsches, it's Schoger leading the way ahead of Sindre Setsas, and then Omar Soto Jr. in third, Jason Maricalo in 4th, and Johannes Franco in 5th place.
So 2nd and 3rd really close in the Daytona prototypes. 1st and 2nd pretty close in the German GT3s, and also we've got a good battle between the top 3 really in the Porsche. So looking good there as IMSA now then goes onto the banking, onto the front stretch again, and this time Fitzpatrick, Adam, he catches him in a much better place before the tri-oval. He doesn't have to lose that momentum when he pulls out of the slipstream.
Again,
and he can't do anything. It's
very,
very wide
brakes,
again.
But he doesn't make the corner though.
And here he goes this time.
Wide. Is he going to be able to get alongside? No. Piazza just able to hold the line and hold his position in 2nd place in the Daytona prototypes. Fitzpatrick still trying everything he can, but he's got to get a much better run either off the bus stop or off of the final part of the infield, so he can get alongside. I tell you what, it's very slow there.
That was a lot better though. That was a hell of a lot better, wasn't it though, from Fitzpatrick through the first couple of corners to because he actually got the line right and he nearly made it work. We said Neumann was quick as well in P5, and he is closing in on Novak, so be interesting to see if the GTL driver can do anything here.
6 tenths quicker on that last lap, 40.6 for Neumann, 41.2 for Joseph Novak.
The Polish team is GTL, and I believe he's a Polish driver, Arkadiusz Neumann. So yeah, it's they've got some good drivers in that stable, such as Rafał Kujarczyk.
They're both driving for the Central Eastern Europe club as well. A bit of local pride going on at the same time.
Fitzpatrick not very close this time round. Getting a nice run, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Although it might be enough for a little surprise dive up the inside. He's closing, really getting the overspeed now.
Into the first corner, can't do anything about it, but Neumann has managed to get past Joseph Novak as we come over the line, and he's able to close the door as well by the time we get into the braking zone, but he's not going to make the first corner. He's sliding all over the place, and that's going to allow Joseph Novak back up the inside.
Or is it?
Might give him the position.
Side by side still. Oh,
where's he going?
Novak nearly loses the car, but actually... Oh, and then he opens the door again. Neumann going through up the inside. Who's going to get the traction? And it's going to be Neumann, I think. Is he through?
Yes.
So it was just the case of, I think Novak, once he lost the car, I think he had to really commit to the inside and he didn't do it.
Oh dear.
Oh, wide again.
Oh, look at Joseph Novak really not giving an inch here as they go through the right-hander, and now into the final part of the infield. Back onto the banking we go. I wonder if this battle might change positions again. I tell you what, I don't think it will this time, because Joseph Novak really was struggling for grip on the exit of the infield and has lost a few tenths of a second now to Arkadiusz Neumann. So Neumann up into 4th position now in class.
Fitzpatrick is much closer as well this time.
Oh yeah, as they go through the bus stop.
And he gets a decent exit. I think that's a bit better this time.
7.5 minutes to go here. Let's see what he can do for the final part of
that's
banking.
That's much stronger, isn't it? He's much closer now.
Just about to come to Marcel Fassbender in the Porsche, but here he comes. Look at the speed he's got there, Sam Fitzpatrick. Over the line, who's going to have the position? It will be Danilo Piazza at the line.
He won't be able to clear him, and that's the problem. And now it's going to have to really... Oh no, it's dirty out there. There's too much crap and rubbish on the outside to make that work. Oh, side by side in the Porsche between Soto and Setz as it was, but Soto staying ahead. Might not have been those two who were side by side actually. I think there's something else going on there, but
side by side for the lead as well in the German GT3s. Here comes Cornelis.
How was Cornelis caught up so quickly to Felipe Paiva? But it's Mercedes versus Mercedes. Had enough Mercedes on Mercedes action, haven't we, the last few years? And there's some more. Oh!
1.2 seconds. 1.2 seconds slower. Felipe Paiva on that last lap.
Oh! Now twitching around is the number 5 car, Cornelis. Now he's got into the lead. Oh, a little nudge.
Tell you what though, Fabrice Cornelis' pit stop was 30 seconds, almost double Felipe Paiva's pit stop time. So he was definitely in control of things before the pit stops began, Cornelis.
Well, now it's the Brazilian down into second place, Paiva. And they're still close between Settas and Soto.
Oh, Fitzpatrick up into second.
Oh,
he's finally done
no,
it.
Of course we've missed it when we look away for a second.
And it was a good move up the inside into the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, that's a difficult place to overtake, but we have seen it once or twice today. Got it done nicely there, Fitzpatrick. Soto's not giving up here. He was in the lead at one point. In fact, all three of these drivers have been in the lead at one point. This is how good the race has been.
Oh, Novak versus Newman again. it's happening everywhere here in the closing 5 minutes. Novak goes wide and off and back on and behind Newman.
Well, they're coming back into this battle, aren't they, as well? So, yeah, that's going to rage and rage for P4. Battles in all three classes. This is what we want to see. And there's no battle for the lead overall, though. Joseph Burton Harris leads by 12.4 seconds. The real battle here, in fact, was in the Porsche 911, but it's been split up a bit because there is now a Mercedes in the way of, or in between, Tetsas and Soto.
It was our former leader, Nestoras Kiasoglu, that's there after a troublesome time around the pit stops.
He's lapping quicker than the leaders as well, so he'll be absolutely gutted that whatever issue he had has reared its ugly head. And Paiva's not giving up at all. Just had a bit of a twitch out of the slow corner, which means that Cornelis can just draw a little bit further away.
Second of the hairpins here and not too many laps to go here.
Oh, look at the battle for second.
Oh, here comes Fitzpatrick.
Weaving in and out of the traffic now.
You know, Fast and Furious or something going on here, but here comes Piazza to the outside. Who's going to have the position at the line now? If this was the final lap, it would be just Sam Fitzpatrick at the line.
Barely 6/1000 of a second. Around the outside goes Piazza. He's going to work. That's going to work, isn't it?
No,
he's going to keep it. I don't know. He's got the run.
Patrick's internet's all over the place.
He's going for. It's really difficult for him at the minute. Up the inside goes Piazza.
Oh, Novak versus
through.
Newman.
Piazza's through.
Into the hairpin. Novak up the inside of Newman now.
Oh, side by side then. Once more, Novak and Newman, they've exchanged places several times in this race. Very, very good indeed. We're not far from the end of it either.
I mean, indeed we are not. 3 minutes to go.
Oh, he's trying the outside. But I think that might have been a bit ill-advised because he loses just a car length or so. Oh, sliding the car into the hairpin. Piazza now back in front then for second place. And what can Sam Fitzpatrick do? Is he going to go up the inside again into the bus stop? Is he going to go around the outside into the bus stop? We could see it. Oh, no.
No, just very close though as Fitzpatrick goes again. I thought he was disqualified there.
Yeah, it's not. I tell you what, his heart will be going. Whenever he blinks in and out.
Tell you what though, the lead for the Porsches is getting ever and ever closer. Matthias Schoger, he may have a German GT3 in between himself and Sindre Setsas, but the gap is only 2 seconds with the final few laps emerging. And also we can't roll out Fabrice Cornelis and Felipe Paiva either, as Newman and Novak continue their scrap for 4th.
Setsas was nearly half a second quicker, as that's Burton Harris nearly running into the back of Schoger. Kiasoglu is in there.
With the first corner, Novak, is he finally going to get it done this time? Oh, all over the place there, and Newman back up the inside. Novak trying everything he can to try and stop him.
That's very good. Yeah, that's very good from Newman. He went in a little bit deeper into the corner, didn't he, knowing that he could clear him. And he did, and there was nothing Novak could do. But as is always the difficulty here at Daytona Road Course, passing, it's actually passing is one thing, but staying ahead is another.
Especially if you've got no slipstream.
Yep, and I don't think he'll have one here either. There is a German GT3, I believe, a little bit further up the road, but it's not close enough to provide him with any respite here. So let's see what Novak can do. Do we know how long's exactly left on this one?
Joseph Burton Harris is about to start the final lap of the race. He's on his penultimate lap at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like plain sailing for him at the moment. Lead battle for German GT3 still going on as well.
Oh no, I think Sam Fitzpatrick might have actually met his end here.
I hope not. He's had a fantastic race, Fitzpatrick.
And he's dropped down the order. So
that'll promote the winner of the battle between Neumann and Novak to the podium. But I think we need to look at the German GT3s here, Adam, because really hotting up.
Definitely, yeah. When these guys get round to the line, they'll be starting their final lap of the race. Fabrice Cornelis, then with Felipe Paiva right with him. Benelux versus Brazil here.
Paiva worked his way up all the way from the back of the category at the start to the front, and then actually he's dropped down a little bit again because Cornelis has just come on strong at the end. And yeah, he must have had some tyres left. Fitzpatrick there for throughput error. We thought he was, and yeah, that's retirement for him.
Final lap then for Newman and Novak, and it looks like that Newman's still able to stay ahead of the bright orange car of Joseph Novak as they go into the second at the hairpins. It's all going to be about the straight and the run to the line. It's going to separate. That's going to decide who gets that final position on the podium now.
I think it is, but I think can't withdraw our attention to the front because Joseph Burton Harris is coming into the bus stop chicane for the final time, and it's been a really excellent race from him. This is by far the best race that we've seen him do.
Definitely. Had no issues out there at all. Marco Archdiakono may have led the opening lap, but it was Joseph Burton Harris that took the lead away from him, and whilst everyone else fell by the wayside and had their own sorts of incidents and accidents, he's really come through, and one of the few cars out there that's remained relatively clean. So with 3 weeks to go in the IMSA Sportscar Series, Joseph Burton Harris gets a win on the board, and he gets it done here at Daytona International Speedway.
Fantastic from Burton Harris. Here comes Shoga. He's almost home free now.
Cross the line and take victory. Novak versus Newman though. Drag race to the line. It's gonna be Newman at the line by 100th of a second.
And then the German GT3s, the lead is still up for grabs. Cornelis, Paiva. Benelux versus Brazil, as you mentioned. Mercedes versus Mercedes. We'll see then. Cornelis started 15th, Paiva started 23rd.
Looks like in this class the slipstream doesn't seem to be as effective as it is in the Daytona prototypes. We'll see what Paiva can do then into the bus stop chicane for the final time. He's very close on the braking there.
Oh, he's very late on the brakes. He's got a good run through there. Oh, it could be close, Adam. It could be really close.
Got a massive wiggle on there. Our leader, Fabrice Cornelis. Could it even be done?
Needs to come down the racetrack.
Needs to get it done before NASCAR turn 4, really. It's definitely going to be a drag race here. Who's going to have the top speed? Who's going to have the run? You can see Paiva going as high as he can so he can get the best possible run. Now it's all about that side draft. Who's going to take the win?
It's going to be... It looks like it's going to be Cornelis.
Yes. Over the line, Fabrice Cornelis takes the win. Second, Felipe Paiva on a Fiat show. He's going to come across the line and take third. Then it's Torres in fourth. And then Michael Arian is going to take fifth position, the highest Audi, and the only Audi, I think, in the field. And sixth for Chris Fuller with Naspolino seventh.
Johnny Brandon had a screen failure, it looks like, as well. I'm just looking down. I think he made contact, looks like, with Marcel Fassbender.
Did see those positions changing late on. And,
it was a chaotic race, though, that, wasn't it? Nespolino says it was a poor race for him. And yeah, that's the paraphrase. But you know what? I think when he looks back at it, if he has such a rubbish race and he still finishes seventh, I think that's, you know, there's worse things that could happen.
I'll ready for the finishing order then from really entertaining race, or from our perspective anyway. I'm sure a few words will be said by some of these drivers afterwards. Joseph Burton Harris, takes the win. Second, Danilo Piazza. Third for Arcadeus Newman. Fourth, Joseph Novak. Fifth, Dirk Reinhardt. And then Fabrice Cornelis takes the win in the German GT3s. Only 5 surviving Daytona prototypes, really. Paiva second. Third for Rafael Bonifacio. Then Mark Torres in fourth. 5th for Michael Erian, then 6th for Chris Fuller, 7th Luigi Nespolino. Then it's Sam Fitzpatrick. He only ended up finishing 2 laps down after his problem late on. Then Vieira in 8th, then Miguel Figo in 9th, and Michael Matuek in 10th. Then the 3 winners in the winner in the Porsches for Matthias Schoger, 2nd for Sindre Sass, and then Omar Soto Jr. in 3rd. Then it's Nestoras Kiyosoglu and Karsten Huth. And then more of the Porsches: Jason Marical, Johannes Schafranca, Johnny Brandon, Mark Warmington, and Marcel Fassbender in 8th in the Porsches. And Elliot Biddle getting disqualified, the only driver to get disqualified in the field, finishing in 13th place, 27th overall. Then Cohen Klotman and Marco Archdiacono both coming together. Archdiacono had issues with his brake pedal, that's what put pay to his race. Cohen Klotman retired due to the damage, I reckon. Chris McGrath also out, and then Robin Esterson and Michel Ritchie also out within seconds of the green flag being waved here.
Yeah, there's a few drivers not happy. This is we've covered this series for a few seasons now, and yeah, this is the most sort of needle we've had at the end of any of the races, I think, between the drivers themselves. So you've got the Porsches not happy with the GT3s, you've got the Porsches not happy with each other, you've got the GT3 drivers arguing. I think it's just one of those races that a few people just need to move on from, I think.
But we do have an interview, and it is our winner in the German GT3s in the IMSA Sportscar Series, and we bring him in. Fabrice Cornelis, well done on the win.
Yeah, hello guys.
Well, Felipe Paiva, he started at the back, didn't do any qualifying, but he was definitely giving you a bit of worry there towards the end of the race.
Yeah, first of all, I had much luck in the start. I think I avoided the incident in turn 1. I got like from 6th place to first corner, so that was pretty amazing. And then I was just fuel saving behind Nestoras. Then I saw we got a slowdown, so yeah, I pitted, but I had a stop and go penalty of 15 seconds because of speeding in the pit. So that's why Felipe close to me, and yeah, we had a good fight, I think.
How was the racing around Daytona International Speedway today? Because they're pretty hot, the conditions, and in a 45-minute race, was there any worry with the tyre wear at all?
Yeah, it's one of the first times in the Mercedes, and I see that the tyre wear is like much more bad than in the Audi. So especially in the hot conditions, it's not really. Yeah, I don't really like it to drive with, but whatever. I think it's for everyone, so. Everyone got the same problem.
Next week, then we're getting towards the end of the season. Mid-Ohio this time. How much experience racing around that track?
Not that much. Yeah, we will see.
Andrew, anything for Fabrice here?
Not really, other than just to say well done. I mean, that was a hard-fought battle. I mean, chased down the leader, took the lead, hung on to it by a fraction. Yeah, I think that's very good. Well done.
Thank you, man. Thanks for the broadcast, by the way.
No problem,
that's all right. You'll enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will see.
Before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Want to thank the team, Vanderbilt Sim Racing, for the support. They just brought me in the team roster, so thanks to the guys. Good Klopman, he's like one of my practices in IMSA. He was in the DP tonight, but had a much unluck, so whatever. So yeah, and yeah, thanks you guys for the broadcast.
No problem, yeah. Well done on the win, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to chat to you in similar circumstances next week.
Yo, see you later, guys.
Cheers.
Fabrice Cornelis, well that pretty much rounds things
I
up
was
here.
just going to say, sorry, I'm going to button again, but I wonder if we can go back and, I don't know if Sam, if we can go back and have a look at the first corner from the German GT3s, because it was awful. I mean, actually, I didn't actually see it at the time because I was looking at the Porsches.
I only saw a bit and it looked pretty awful.
So what I was going to suggest, just so we can see it happening here, is I was looking at Felipe Paiva.
Who did even start with?
Looking
It might be
at
Elliot Biddle.
looking at Paiva's start, and I just was seeing how he managed to get through. And what I found is that it was, the drivers at the front of the pack. I believe it started
Biddle,
with
Esterson and Vieira, was it?
It was Biddle, Esterson and Vieira. So they pinball around in between, and there's 3 cars going off there. And then there's something else going on. So Carsten Huth comes into the first corner in the lead. He loses it. I don't know if he got a tap. Did he get a slight netcode tap?
Chris Fuller also got turned around, I saw. Yeah,
So-
I'm just having a look.
But
Carsten
Huth loses it, and was that Fuller, did you say?
Fuller got turned around in the background.
Fuller gets turned around by number 32. That was McGrath.
Well, it's pretty easy to pick out who the Audi is. The Audi of Arian goes in like a wrecking. Oh, bloody minute! Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
Like a wrecking ball. Yeah. And he goes through and
Wipes out Nespolino.
Oh,
No wonder
that was-
Nespolino was unhappy.
I'll be honest, Adam, that looks like complete and utter netcode, does that?
Hmm.
And then because Arian just drove through the spun Mercedes of Carsten Huth. So yeah, it looks like a bit of a mess there, but that's just to clear it up. And if you watch, I don't know if we can go back, Sam, and just watch it from Felipe Paiva's point of view, maybe from his cockpit view even, to see what he sees in there, and just I don't know if you can take us through what he's doing in the at the start.
Hey, so just going on board with him. Going up to the green light. Gets it now. Ladies, everything going well here. Goes to the outside. Then it all kicks off. Really stuck in the middle here and sees everyone else go off to the right. Keeps himself to the inside line, and after all that happens, finds himself in first, second, fifth position by the time he gets to the hairpin.
And then I just want to see if if the others are gonna hit each other somewhere around the front, because I know that Arian had some issues. Oh, in fact, Paiva just slightly hits the Mercedes in front of him, so Bonifacio. But yeah, that's how a mess can start here at Daytona, and this turn 1. It's one of those. It's very similar to the one at Charlotte Road Course, isn't it? It's one of those where it's such a difficult braking zone, and it seems to bottle up, doesn't it? And things happen.
Especially if you're on the cold tyres. Just from experience of us racing in the Kia Cup Series, Kia Club Series, I should say, in season 1, we really struggled, and that was in the nighttime conditions, and shows you the drivers really struggling here in the daytime one. So, troubling issues there for the guys at the front on the opening lap of the race. Well, that pretty much rounds things up here at the Daytona International Speedway for week 10 of the IMSA Sportscar Series. Only 2 weeks to go, and yeah, as we were saying to Fabrice Cornelis, next week we head to Mid-Ohio. Now, we got plenty of experience of driving this track when we were at the hotel for the WEC a year ago in the Formula Renault, so we'll know the circuit pretty well. Will the IMSA drivers, though? You'll have to find out. You can join us from 5:45 British Summer Time, 6:45, Central European Time for that one. And of course, we're not done here. The return of the Club 73 Touring Car Championship is later tonight, about 8:30 for that one. And you'll be joined by none other than Alex Simpson for that one, I think. So, make sure you're tuning in for that. And also, I'll be with Sam for the BSR Mazda MX-5, and that's at Imola today. Really going to enjoy that one. That's going to get underway at 8, so that's just in under an hour's time. So,
All right, man. Well, that's been really fun, hasn't it? I did enjoy the slight craziness that was going on out there. It was very good.
So did I, yeah. And thanks for joining me for this one, yeah. Andrew Woodhouse, and also thanks to Sam for doing the cameras as always. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you all at Mid-Ohio in a week's time. From all of us here at the Daytona International Speedway, from Apex Racing TV, it's goodbye from the Daytona International Speedway.